I've been I always talk about this, but I've been really just eyeing down the domain scene a lot. And that's just a really interesting fact, or just part to look at in this market too, is just like the trends, right? And I think like we were looking forward to speaking about that in Resistance DAO, but we got cut off too short, unfortunately, from the time that we had. But um looking at the trends of the future is something I love to do a lot. And I know you do too, Richard and Steven. So uh, it's just something that I just want to see what your inputs were on that side of things too. What you think are going to be the latest trends. I've been looking at a lot of AR stuff as well. And I think like mixed realities are going to be such a huge proponent in terms of like the marketing aspect too for a lot of these experiential, marketing efforts in the future, right? Like, it's just insane how blockchain technology is going to be combined in this whole new world that we're going to be living in. I don't even know in like the next 5 years. So,
So you talk about trends. I mean, something we'll talk about like near term, near future trends. I think, as far as what everything that we've gone through, right? You're going to see an evolution of a more demanding audience, right? The first stage of the first wave or a few waves of entrance into the market here, right? We were the lovers, the believers, the emotional. That we didn't really take much. Just give us something to hold on to, something to believe in, and we will throw money at it, trying to change the world, right? We or put our time. The next crowd, that's where we get to critical mass. I believe that they're on like the mountaintops, right? They're kind of looking in right now, watching down on all the collectors, all the early adopters, trying to see, is it worth it, right? Because they're not emotional. They're ones, they need data. They need to see, why should I do this? What's gonna for me? So I think what you're going to see, based on just on that, and the fact that the market will be maturing, and there's some really really loving artists out there, that you're going to see things like all-inclusive utility. You're going to see hodling mechanics. Right now we have a lot of randomness in the scene. Randomness rewards the masses. As we all know in marketing, right, you make 20% off your 80%. I mean, you make 80% off your 20%. My bad. You make 80% off your 20%. So even just taking that and having it, right, I think you're going to see, I know what we're advising, projects we're helping take to the next level. It's all about finding those, I guess you could say, whales, right, the ones that really believe, the most passionate, the biggest collectors, top 10%, and having next level utility hodling mechanics in place, right, to where you're going to see these individuals be rewarded. There's going to be, again, all inclusive utility, like everything is paid for. Just have this NFT, be one of the top 10 owners. Your airplane, your ticket, that God knows what it could evolve into, right? Cruises, just huge collector events, right? Maybe different things collab. But I think you'll see more of that, and then also just some of these mechanics, some of these things that we have in. I think there's going to be more thinking about that, and a lot of things, such as um, stating when things are going to happen, right? Like right now, hey, in 20 days, we're going to take a snapshot. Okay. Everybody, what happens? We all know what happens, right? Everybody comes in, and then, oh gosh, you see a lot of collections out there that really aren't thinking, about the collectors, the investors long term. And they may say stuff like, oh, and after the snapshot, it's all right. You can sell it and you'll still get the reward. What? You know,
yeah.
we're going to be getting into a place where I think it's going to be more rewarding. The loyal are going to be rewarded, right? And you're going to see, mechanics such as, hey, for all those out there, at a random time in the future, we will do we'll do a shot, and we'll do a drop, right? And for those of you, that are coming in, who knows when it's going to be. There'll be another one another time, but for who's those of you that didn't sell in between this one and that and the next, right? There's going to be another reward that's to the next level, and I think there'll be different mechanics built in to these projects, that will encourage everyone to hold, right? And the more you hold, the more you get rewarded. The more you buy, the more you participate, and I think things about having a lot of the actions, I think it's going to get more respectful of time, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
just, I'll give the microphone after this comment, but having a collection of going on close to 2,000 now NFTs, right? You're off into the future, and I'm kind of getting a chance to see what I believe a lot of people will be on this path of having multi-thousand, collection NFTs, right? I mean, anything from concert tickets to basketball tickets and all are going NFT now, even, right? Because they're tradable and they want to get their royalties. So the biggest thing that you're seeing is time, right? When you get a bigger collection, you get into a lot of projects, no matter how, active you are, you get over a couple hundred projects, it's really hard to stay up with things, right? And so I think you're going to also see a more convenience, less demanding, right? Like you're not going to have to be doing so much grinding in the chats. There's going to be more of what you bought, what you bought into, and these NFTs will
Yeah,
become
like
more of a
the
club pass.
simplicity aspect. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And these are going to be looked at more as a club pass, and it's
Hmm.
not you have to like buy it and then do all this work to get it. No, you bought in, and that right there is enough to go and give you this gold paved, easy breezy road, right? So yeah, that's where I'm seeing trends going.
Yeah, because I think it's like it's really cool when you look at NFTs from the standpoint. A lot of people from the outside look within this market and they see NFTs as just art, right? Or just something where people tack on a picture, making millions off of it. Look deep into it, it connects the likeness of a brand to the stakeholders or the shareholders of it as well, and that's where it's like mutually exclusive, where you have both uh both that club like pass that you mentioned effect, and you're also a part of a bigger picture. Basically, you're able to really be a part of that company or project, have a say in it, and also have that verification process with it too, that can have unlimited amounts of value, right? That's why it's crazy with NFTs. I mean, you can do so much. It's literally unlimited with the amount of value they can provide behind it. The only limit is to how far your imagination can go, basically, with it, right? Um, so yeah, it's just really interesting on that aspect too, and building out the utility. And I feel like a lot of I'm not sure what your thoughts are, Stephen and Richard, on this, but what how projects have potentially some problems building out that long term utility, right? Have you noticed that within these projects themselves recently? How projects just have a hard time focusing on that, building out that long term utility for their NFTs.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think that really starts with, lack of preparation because people kind of go into these projects and expect, it might be a community driven project, but you can't expect the community to build out exactly your roadmap and everything that's coming in the future. People, you have to realize like when you are creating a project, like you are not only thinking, 6 months out, 8 months out, 9 months out, whatever it is. You're thinking years out. You're thinking if you're coming in to innovate and take over this space, you got to think about how you're going to do that. And truly, that there's going to be obstacles in your way, of course. But my personal opinion is like, you keep at it, and if you keep doing what you're doing and just trying to improve every day, even if it's in increments, it always makes a huge difference in the long run. And I feel like that's where projects, get it wrong is they try and do too much at first, and then they're like, well, now I have all this, and I don't know what to do. You
I
have to
think
think,
it's Oh
that's
yeah,
just my
sorry.
opinion. No,
Yeah,
you're
no,
good.
I
You're good.
I also think it's like too like maybe it's just like a way people think in this space. I don't know if it's for some reason. I mean, I guess it's just how it is, but people also think that they have to do things so quick. Like they have to just get things done as soon as possible,
Definitely.
like launch
Well,
or
So,
I,
speaking of trends, that's another thing that I believe, just based on what I'm seeing, that again, like, so that's like, the first phase, right? Again, those were the emotional, those were the visionaries, those were the ones that just, they really, it didn't take much to sway us, right? We really want to just make things better. Um, Now with the next wave that's coming in, right? They're like, the ones that need that data again. Um, that right there, I believe in itself is forcing the market to adapt, and then everything else that we've just gone through, right? Uh, we're smarter. We're a more demanding audience, and even as a marketing agency, right? You're looking, there's just more demand, right? There's less risk, so we want to see projects that have something close to an MVP, right? Something there, a white paper roadmap. I mean, all of the preparation. That's one thing we talked about before. I mean, the NFT scene was really blessed. You know, uh, for quite some time, where really you got through with like 30% preparation and 70% execution, right? And really, in most places it's 80%, preparation and 20% execution, right? And I think even for here, the bar just for what's going on, it may even be raised higher for a small bit, just to make sure, a lot of people, they, we're even seeing for some of the PFP projects on OpenSea, again, traffic is up, but sales and volume for PFP collections, not so, not doing as hot, right? But we're looking, I'm looking at traffic and new entrants to the market and things like that when I'm talking about ongoing trends. So, so that's the thing, is I don't think there will be any issues, going forward, with having projects that are going forward and launching without white papers, roadmaps, because it's just not going to make it, right? I don't, and then also there's going to be a lot of regulation. The government's involved now. There's been developers that have had to pay the price in certain projects. You're going to see a lot of things like that. And then I think also, just speaking about trends, it's really about simplicity, right? I mean, I think all about having something that phases into a community-led
Exactly.
project
Yep.
after like 3 months, right? So you onboard the community after a launch, for like 3 months, get to know them. That gives you time to like pick out your chiefs, like your most amazing supporters, right? Extract them as soon as you can locate those individuals, right? And there's so much software, different ways that you can find them now. Get them on your team and quickly, help to create a community led experience, but always, right? The project leaders, they're the ones everybody's there for. They're the reason they bought the project. They always have to be at the helm. They have to be the captain of the ship, but giving guidelines and kind of like safety bumpers and bowling, so the community can play around and they can have influence and control over, the experience and the investment, but also, they can't do too much harm, right? There's kind of like barriers in place and bumpers. So I think, and the other thing, just, before we pass the mic, is, when you're doing these experiences, right, it's about linear, right? So, and what I mean by that is about just making sure that all the dots line up, right? Because right now, again, like Mark was touching on, a lot of projects, they come in and they overcomplicate it and they think they need to have so much and that it moves so fast that we just got to do it right now and we can do all this once we get the money, right? No, let's go and figure out like let's think about constants, right? In marketing and blowing these projects up, right? There's constants, right? There's very few constants that we can really play with. There's I'd say one of the biggest ones in the NFT scene is belonging, right? So the sense of belonging, like a lot of these projects, everybody wants to be part of something. They want to be part of the like a group. That's part of the reason they're coming in. Like we're looking for this club, this connection, this experience to take our life and our happiness to the next level, right? And that's the one thing that I think needs, like, you need to understand the power in that, right? Like we don't have to go in, like, the games and all that. Beautiful, I love the games. I think that's great. I think that's going to be a big part of the future where NFTs are going. I mean, but I think right now, like, starting out with just gatherings, whether it be in real life, in different chapters, and trying to organize and trying to bring people together, and even those higher up elements, right? Those that have your bigger players, right? Having it to where you have meetups where they're part of that all-inclusive utility, or you make it so you people are brought together in real life, metaverse, right? You have events that are both in real life, metaverse, right? But the biggest thing is, like, how can we bring these individuals together and then also bring up other projects, right, to grow this? Because in the end, what are we looking for? We're looking for the biggest group. We want to be part of something huge. Nobody wants to be part of, be by themselves or be with just a few people in a party, right? The more the merrier. So I think that's the other thing that you'll see too, just one thing, just touching on this, but for trends, is obviously right now we're already seeing cannibalization. We're seeing, winner takes all mindset, right? So it's how can we create a long-term sustainable future proof community experience with high barriers to entry, right? That's sustainable, and that's going to allow us to hopefully have that grand experience. But I think really in the end, it's those that connect and not try to conquer all, that try to come together and build the most grandest experience, right? The projects they have, again, some of the things we're working on right now, things like universally compatible meta wrapped, jewelry, things like this, right? That
Yeah,
no matter
exactly.
where you're going, right? Like no matter what universe, what metaverse, what project, these things are going to work all over, and it's going to be that interconnectivity that and those that really play to unify and to really take this to the next level. I think that are really going to thrive and have the easiest path to success, right? So that's my opinion on the trend there.